The desire to be the center of the universe for a particular man may be based on different needs. Some people meet the perfect partner in life and do not want to give it to anyone, while others seek to increase their self-esteem and need an admirer for this. However, how to tame a person when there are so many competitors at every step or the partner himself is not inclined to fanaticism? To answer the question, how to make a man afraid of losing you, I decided to publish the advice of a psychologist. A little theory. When discussing such topics, we always return to the theory of importance and attachment. The first makes a person a valuable prize in the eyes of others, and the second ensures dependence on him. If neither exists, no one will seek and pursue. There are many ways to evoke both of these feelings, most of which are formed after psycho-emotional trauma and a deficient upbringing, when something was missing for the child, and now he is trying to compensate for it. As a result, we get a set of characteristics that guarantee us two things. First, the girl will be noticed and appreciated. For example, she can be beautiful, interesting, attractive at the pheromone level, successful. Secondly, having such a woman, there is a fear of losing her. It's a completely different situation when a guy is just flirting with a beautiful girlfriend, and it's completely different when he wants to continue a relationship, but for this you need to take certain actions. It is here that a curious truth is revealed, which we will discuss further. Think about why the abuser controls, restricts and suppresses his companion. She becomes a strong support for his self-esteem. In order to remain normal, he needs this woman. To be respected and admired by people around him, a beautiful girl is needed. Or, let's say there is a situation where a guy enjoys comfort, physical intimacy, delicious food and the emotional presence of his partner. However, if she starts having an affair, all these benefits are at risk. Then he has to hold her back. That's how it works. For a long time, everyone has known one phenomenon that I have repeatedly talked about in my blog. Psychologists have found out as a result of a series of experiments that a person who possesses something begins to evaluate it about twice as much. It seems to be a rusty bucket on wheels, but a person puts the price much higher and will always find a logical explanation for his act. Returning to interpersonal relationships, we will run into the same mechanisms. A man notices and falls in love with a girl when she has a significant set of characteristics. Appearance, intelligence, accessibility for him personally and inaccessibility for others, compliance with subconscious expectations and his scenarios. If she is what he wanted, then there will be sympathy. It's bad if it's one-sided, good if it's mutual. But this is not the final station. Next, the process of dependence comes into play, which is impossible without the value of a representative of the fairer sex. All the girls here have two problems at once. First, they are not good for much. Well, beautiful, okay. And after I got out of bed, why do I need it? Well, well-mannered, decent, what should I do with her? An interesting interlocutor, it's great when we talk enough, what should we do next? The second is that the courtship period seems like a cool thing, even correct to some extent. But the man gets into the wrong fairy tale, he wanted to be a conquering king, but in fact he became a fox sadly wandering around the jug. They don't give you anything, they don't give you any pleasure. It's boring. And if so, then there is nothing to lose. Then why be afraid and why worry? The secret of the gray mice, or how to make a man afraid of losing you. Many girls got into a ridiculous situation when they took a scary friend for a walk, who may not be so scary, but in all respects inferior to her companion. The legs are shorter, the figure is not perfect, the clothes are cheap, the makeup is not stylish. Or you are a virgin child, and your girlfriend is. Objectively, you have more chances of a relationship with a decent guy, but bad luck. A scary friend is getting married, took the man literally from under his nose. And what did he find in her? It's all about one simple mechanism. A man is primarily a person who is naturally endowed with a psyche. And it stores all his needs, which have to be pursued and achieved. He needs attention, presence, recognition, tactility, intimacy, respect, and so on. If his self-esteem is critically low, then he is ready to seek, care for and deserve on credit. According to the principle, I will do everything now, she will like me and she will reward me, I will get what I want. But representatives of the stronger sex with adequate self-esteem do not behave like this. In the context of this article, we are interested in the latter. Because the first one needs a carrot in front of his nose to have something to run for. If they see a more accessible one, they will run there. If they invest a lot of resources in this one, they can pursue it for the rest of their days. When they catch up, they will lose interest. Such people are never afraid to lose. They are afraid to be left with nothing even before they become owners. It is difficult to predict how many weeks, months, or years you will be able to give hope of closing a need without actually closing it. But everyone else falls into a strong dependence on the source of benefits. If a guy in a company suddenly receives attention, presence, respect, recognition and tactility from a girl, then her importance increases. If you can get into the right need, then he will fall in love. However, then there will be a phase of decreased appetite, because I got everything I needed. At this point, he will have to show that he can lose it. People with a reliable type of attachment have no problems here. The girl initially reports the conditions of interaction and always speaks openly about them. It does not require courtship and competition for her heart. She says simple words, I like you, if you like me too, then we are together. Communication itself is based on mutual interests, so both know what to do in life from the very first days. And the partner knows that the companion is focused on mutual sympathy, mutual responsibility, and respect. Therefore, he is afraid of losing every time some detail of these conditions disappears from his side. And if he is afraid, then he will not cool down. That's how healthy relationships work, the rest are different. In all anxious types, fear arises against the background of competition. As soon as a man received everything he needed from a girl and it became a really important support for him, he no longer wants to lose the resource. But the companion is nearby, the benefits do not decrease, other guys are not visible on the horizon. He relaxes, and the woman, feeling the cooling of the relationship, tries to increase her efforts so that he appreciates and begins to love as before. A fatal mistake. He will love as before only if he realizes what he can lose. The girl's task is to find the one she wants, attract attention to herself, give the man what he needs, and then show that he risks losing it. Now let's remember the example of the beauty and her ugly friend. Why does it often happen as described above? This beauty does not find the right man around her. She's like a suitcase standing in the hallway and waiting for the best one to pick her up. He believes that he attracts attention with his appearance and does not even think about covering up the needs of a man. As a result, her importance is zero, except that she has a cool figure and a pretty face, otherwise she is empty. And there is no dependence, because if the girl does not give anything, then the guy has nothing to lose. A suitcase can gather dust for years, it will be periodically inspected by passers-by, and then put back in place. Not necessary. At this very moment, the gray mouse, once in the company, had already caught the eye of an interesting guy. I started chatting, made a couple of compliments, paid attention, demonstrated my presence. I found out and felt the needs, I closed some of them in a simple conversation, and I'm obviously ready to give everything else without additional conditions. Because he likes it, because he can. And only after the guy got everything he needed, considered her his own, decided that she belonged to him and was present in his life, it was important to show that he could lose everything. If he does not respect, appreciate, behave normally and participate in life together. The main thing is not to confuse the zone of personal and mutual responsibility, but otherwise the scheme is perfect. I am yours and you can do anything, but as soon as unacceptable elements appear in your behavior, the treasure chest will close. Guaranteed. You can try to refute this theory, but as soon as a man sees that his woman is looking at another with the same loving eyes as she once looked at him and allows others what she previously allowed only to him, fear will arise instantly. Instead of the total. To understand how to make a man afraid of losing you, it is necessary to understand the theories of significance and attachment. In order not to repeat all of the above again, I will try to summarize briefly. A man needs to be given something valuable to him, and then show that he can lose it. If the girl copes with this task, then the partner will remain dependent and there is nothing wrong with that. He will appreciate, respect and love. So as not to lose something very necessary. The main thing is that there is something necessary in a representative of the fairer sex. Long legs and a pretty face are clearly not enough. Thanks for your attention. Be sure to share your opinion in the comments, feedback is important for the author.